Okay, brothers and sisters in Christ, I want to come out here and I just want to read from Revelation chapter 13 from 16 to 18. So Revelation 13, 16 to 18. This is what it says. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their forehead, in that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Now, I just wanted to get into that because, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I have a concern because of what's coming down the line so fast right now. I know the Bible teaches us that we will not be here for the tribulation, because I keep on telling the Lord that I'm not going to keep on telling people the same thing, because I told them over and over and over and over again and again. But it's really bothering me inside. Like, yesterday, I couldn't go to sleep. I literally could not sleep. So I just got up not too long ago because I just couldn't sleep. I just have these things running through my mind, just thinking. So that thing that's bothering me is biometrics. Because some people told me, you don't have to worry, we're not going to be here, we're going to be raptured. Well, try telling that to the people in India. The people in India, 1.2 billion of its citizens are already gone into biometric, to an ID program. And they said that by the summertime this year, 2014, every American is going to have to hand over their biometrics. You know? I don't like this stuff. The biometrics is not the mark of the beast. But that's not the point. The point is, it's an invasion of your privacy. Okay? It's an invasion of your privacy. You're handing over your personal information to a bureaucrat, because biometric stands for 3 measurements of the body, which is, they're going to analyze your hand, they're going to put it on a machine, they're going to analyze it, and it's going to go into the computer, right? Like the handprints, the fingerprints, all of that stuff. Fingerprints, handprints, thumbprints, everything. And then the next step would be, you're going to put these things on your eyes. It's going to scan your eyes. And then, now they have your eyes in the computer. And then they take a digital photograph of your face. Now your face is in the computer. That's what biometrics is. 3 characteristics of the body. Your hand, your face, and your eyes. And something that I saw, they said that this is the New World Order's next plan, is to enroll the whole entire world into biometrics. So I want to share some things below my description. I pray that you'll listen to it. I'm going to try to find the video. And I want to share an article where they're saying that your body is your ID. You'll be able to do financial transactions with a body part. They're making it all sound good, all sound logical, when it's not. They have this thing called Patient Secure. Like when you go to the hospital, they come up with a new system because they say so many people, they have the same last name, some people have the same birthdays, and so on and so on. So we mix people's files up with someone else's, and we don't know which is which now. We don't know what medication to give. We mix it up with somebody else, so we don't know who is who. So we've come up with a more secure system to identify people with, which is called Patient Secure. Basically what it is, it's a palm scanning machine. It scans your palm So they know who you are because your picture comes up. And that is in the hospital. You see where they're leading it all to. What's the most important thing to people? Well, obviously it's their health. So they're doing this with their health and all this. And I just saw another thing. They have another thing called Palm Secure. You guys can check these places up. Palm Secure. If you guys want to hear my video on the Patient Secure thing, you guys can go listen to my video. It's called Biometrics is a Stepping Stone Towards the Mark of the Beast. Because it is. Think about it. They're sucking everybody into their matrix system. They're linking people into their system, into their computer, into their giant database. So think about somewhere in the future. But in the future, when the mark of the beast comes down, the people that handed over their biometrics, they're already in the computer. They're already linked into the computer. So the people that handed over their biometrics, they can see. They can see if this person registered if they took the mark of the beast or not, to see if they're registered, because they already handed over their biometrics. So the people's whole entire life is open before them. They're going to know absolutely everything about them. So this is dangerous. Biometrics is dangerous. This is part of their power grid. It's in the Pentagon documents. It's in the Department of Defense, and so on and so on. They're talking about coming together with global powers, enrolling its people into a biometric ID program to identify people. Because am I who I say I am? How do I know that you are who you're saying you are? So we need to come up with a safer system, more secure, which is a lie. This is all demonic. This is Satan's clever master plan to control everybody. Like, they already have us on profiles. They just want more power and more control. It just goes on and on and on and on. It's going to get more worse and more worse as time progresses. Because, like, when was it? Maybe a couple of weeks ago, I had to go get my Medicare card renewed. So I went there, and when I went, like, they had to take your picture, you know? When I went there, the lady's like, don't smile. You're not allowed to smile anymore. And you know why you're not allowed to smile? It's because it messes up their database. So they have all of us in the database already. For those of you that have driver's license, Medicare, all that stuff. So think about it. These cameras outside, these cameras are not to stop crime. That's the lie that they try to throw up on the society. But people that understand history will know that that's a bunch of lies. Because who was the most surveilled country in the world? But they didn't have the cameras that we have today. They had special spies and so on and so on. Well, that was the Soviet Union. Government is responsible for killing its own people down through history. Joseph Stalin killed most of his own people. Mao Zedong, like all these people, that's all they did. They confiscated the firearms of their own people, and then they killed them. Hitler, he promised peace and so on and so on. And then look what happened to him. People believed his promises, and look what happened. They realized that they've been lied to, and they've been lied to big time. He turned into a huge madman, and he killed. He's lucky he was stopped. Because Hitler was not just going to kill the Jews and the gypsies. He was going to continue on. And yet, with these technologies today, because I said when you go to a bank, okay, this thing I'm talking about, the biometrics thing, when you go to a bank, because once you hand over your biometric data, your information, they're going to print out a card. Now it's going to have your eye on it, because when your picture of your eye is going to be on the card, or a fingerprint of your finger is going to be on the card. So when you go to a banking machine, you put your thing in, your card in. Think about it. You're not going to need a PIN anymore. Okay? This is what they're saying. You're not going to need a PIN anymore because so many people forget their PINs. and so many people don't even remember it, and some people write them down, and that's dangerous for people that can steal their cards and see it on the back of the card written down. And so many people that have all these Visa cards, credit cards, debit cards, MasterCards, they have so many cards, so many PIN numbers to remember. We don't know which PIN, we don't know which one is which for which card. So that's where biometrics comes in. This is the way of the future. The future is now. These people are so blunt, they're speaking out in the open about it. So when you put that card into the machine, it's going to be reading your fingerprint, or it's going to be reading your eye, and then they probably have a little red light that will go on at the bottom of the machine there, where you'll just put your fingerprint, or there'll be another one above it, though you put your eye next to it. Or there's a camera that will probably snapshot your face, read your face, which is facial recognition. Or it will read your fingerprint, or read your iris scan, and it will verify if it matches the eye, the picture of the eye that is on the card, and the reading of the fingerprint that is on the card, or the face that matches what's on the card, which will notify the database that your face is in, and it will verify and match that it's the same face that is on the card. And then you'll be able to take your cash out. So accepted. That's how you'll be able to get your money, through that. So they still won't know what you're buying with the money, which is a good thing. But that's not the point. They should not even be going into this biometric data. This is against the Constitution. This is... Think about how corrupt the government is. Like I said, I didn't finish continuing. Those cameras outside, okay, are facial recognition cameras. Those cameras have facial recognition software in them. So they scan your face outside, and your face is already in the database. So think about it. When they scan your face, and it notifies the database that has your face already in it. So when they scan you on the street, they capture your face, and then you pop up on the computer, and everything about you comes up, your medical history, everything that you buy, everything, because they're already meddling data on us with our credit cards, debit cards, all of that. That's why they want to get rid of cash altogether. They say cash is dirty. It leads to viruses and germs that are on the cash, going from hand to hand, and so on and so on. So we need to go to a new system. Banks want to get rid of cash. Governments want to get rid of cash. They say this is going to eliminate crime. It's going to stop taxi invasions. It's going to stop prostitution, bank robberies, you name it, which is a lie. It may stop those, but criminals are criminals, and they will continue committing crimes no matter what. So, this is what's bothering me, so I just want to come out here and just to let you guys know that I took the time to warn you. Like, it's just incredible to see how fast everything is moving right now. I don't know how accurate this is, okay? But I'm telling you, I saw it on the news. The lady that was talking, she said by 2014, about the American people, sometime by the summertime, they will have to hand over their biometrics. This year, 2014. That's what she said. Now, I don't know if this is going to be pushed back. I hope it is pushed back, because I want nothing to do with this whatsoever. I want nothing to do with this whatsoever. Some people, you know, you have to make a big deal out of it. Just take it. It's not the mark of the beast. What are you so worried about? What am I so worried about? Do you know who these people are? These people are Luciferians, okay? Do your research on the government. They go into Northern California, and they meet at a place called Bohemian Grove, where I believe that they actually did a live sacrifice some people. The cremation of care. Like, they're all dressed up in these things. They're all meeting together. They're all Luciferians. George Bush and his cousins are members of it. and yet you're trying to say there's nothing to worry about? This is an invasion of privacy, and I don't feel comfortable with having my face in a database, which is already in their database, because they have an organization, ChoicePoint, Axion, and all these other places that they already have personal profiles on each and every single one of us, and it's just going to get worse as time progresses. As time progresses, it's just going to get worse. Okay? And yet people say, "Why? What's your big deal? What's your problem?" Well, my problem is this: man's hearts are corrupt. Man's hearts are wicked, as the Bible says in Jeremiah. The heart is deceitful and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Because there was a story that broke out, okay, about this woman. Think about this. This woman did not know these people. These people came up to her, and they had sheets of paper, okay? They had sheets of paper. They were telling her everything of her, like what she did in her life, where she worked, what she did, and so on and so on. And she was freaking out. These people were telling me everything about my life. How do they know me? Who are they? And then after, they threw her in prison. And then afterwards, they found out, oops, we made a mistake. Somehow, the information that we had on you got manipulated, got mixed up with somebody else's information, and we thought it was you, but in reality, it was somebody else's. So she went to jail for nothing. This is why. This is what people do not understand. The dangers of this technology. And they even said it. They're so blunt about it. They said the governments of the world are going to enforce this biometric system upon its people. What's the reason for it? Well, obviously, number one, control. Controlling its people. Controlling, tracing, linking, scanning, and surveilling. They want to surveil us. They want to know absolutely everything about us, because these people, what they want is a surveillance society. They have all the cameras, but what they really want is they want us. They want our data. And they're already meddling data on us, and just so many things. But this is coming down the line. Like I said, I hope it gets pushed back. It doesn't make sense, because I heard it was supposed to be in I heard it was supposed to be in 2017, the year 2017. They're supposed to have everybody biometric. It looks like it's moving faster. They said by 2014, because the FBI has been working on a 1 billion biometric ID program. They said this is supposed to be rolling out by 2014, sometime in the summer. Now, if that happens, Canada's not that far. Anyways, it's a global plan anyway. It's all part of their plan to have everybody tracked. That's why they want to get rid of cash, because you can't track anybody with cash. See, this is part of their master plan. Because I listened to the documentaries. The guy said the first step towards a cashless society was the MasterCard. You see, they created that electronic system. We went from paper to plastic, and now they want to go, everything will be paid by touch. Like these videos that I have, it's just incredible. By Peter and Paul Lalonde. But This Week in Bible Prophecy. They had their crew. This was like years ago. That video's old that I have. It's very old. But they had their crew go up to the Capitol in Washington, D.C. and actually interview these people. And they said that biometrics is the way. This is so to protect you from identity theft. So his wife asked the person, yeah, but what if somebody cuts off my finger? It's a smart question to ask, you know. Say somebody cuts off your finger and they take your finger and they put it on the biometric scan. Will they be able to take the money out? They said no. That machine is able to tell if that is a living finger or if it's a dead finger. Because they said you're going to have to scan to go on the internet. Okay? Like these new computers coming out. You'll only be able to go on as if you thought you have to thumb. You're going to have to thumb scan to go on. They already have these palm scanning machines. The only way you can register is a new policy coming that you can only go on if you do a palm scan. You must scan to go onto the computer. They're already doing it to kids in school. They're training the children. And so on and so on and so on. Like, they're talking about licensing the internet, policing the internet. Like, there's no more freedom. Let's put it that way. This is what's taking place. So I just want to let this message come by. So if Baby Deborah is listening to this right now, they said as well the UK is going into this as well. So just keep your eyes open for this biometrics. Now you're gonna have to palm scan to buy stuff. You're gonna put up a national, because they're trying to push a national ID card. This is going global. This is going global. Okay, there's a push on the globe right now for every nation to have a citizen's number with national ID cards, which has RFID chips in the card. Because they've been at this since the very, very, very beginning. They're going for total power and total control. Once you have everything on that single card, the government has you. They have you. Total control. If they don't like you for some reason, they can make you a non-person just by freezing your account. You go to the bank, for some reason it's not working. They say, oh, we don't know the problem. But they do know the problem. This is their power. They say, look who's in control. We can do this, we can do that. But with cash, they can't do that. Because you have cash. You can buy whatever you want. That's why they have to go to a cashless economy. Total control, people. This is what's coming down the line very fast. This is what people need to realize. I wish this was not real. Okay? I literally wish that this was not real. Because I cannot stand it. These people are control freaks. Ladies and gentlemen, listen to this. Because today I went to the pharmacy, and at the bus stop, I couldn't believe what I saw, like right in the newspaper, talking about Canada with NAFTA. Because remember the stuff that I've been telling you guys about? NAFTA? Talking about Canada, US, and Mexico emerging into one country where we share the same currency, which is the Amero. While they were talking about that, the NAFTA thing is still debated. Well, I already know because I know what my Bible tells me. It's going to happen because you can't believe these guys. They're liars, okay? They are going for a world government. They're not going to stop until they have total control, total power, and very soon, total power will totally corrupt us all. It's going to corrupt everything, okay? So they were just talking about the NAFTA thing and so on and so on. But it's going to happen. Because their first goal was to unite Europe. Because there was this guy, what was his name? Leon Trotsky? Yeah, Leon Trotsky. He said, first we need to create the United States of Europe, and then we'll progress to the United States of the world. So the Bilderberg's goal was met, to unite Europe, and they succeeded. They united Europe, and then they created what? An African Union, an Asian Union, and as all these unions come in, they're all uniting each country step by step, becoming one. And now is underway is the North American Union. And don't tell me it's not going to happen when it's part of their agenda. Because it was part to unite Europe, and then the rest of the world will follow. That's what the globalists are doing. They're uniting each country step by step. And it's what my Bible tells me. There will be a world government. So, that's what they're doing. And what's the thing called? Yeah, they said 20 years. That's been on for a long time. 20 years now. So 20 years ago was 1994. They've been at this. Well, this is part of the Rockefellers and all that. And they keep trying to say it's about trade, when it's not about trade. Because even Henry Kissinger, he's one of the guys part of the Bilderberg group. That big guy, the fat guy. Henry Kissinger said in the Los Angeles Times that NAFTA has nothing whatsoever to do with free trade. He's like, it's an amazing architect towards a new world order. A new world order. You see that? But these people, they just say whatever. Just like they lie to people. And then when it comes up, people can't do nothing. Well, they can't do nothing about it anyway, because prophecy. Prophecy will be fulfilled exactly as it's written down. History will unfold exactly as it has been written. So, and even David Rockefeller said, one world for the Western world, and so on and so on. It just goes on and on. George Senior Bush back in 1991. A new world order can emerge. It's a big idea. A new world order. And when we're successful, and we will be, with the incredible United Nations, and he goes on and on and on. This is what's happening. We stand today as one. We stand today as one. A new partnership of nations has begun. Like, it goes on and on, people. This is for real. This is what's taking place. They're bringing in a one world government and a one world religion. A one world religion. And even President Obama, he's been groomed by the elite to bring in the New World Order. Henry Kissinger said that's what his tactic will be, to bring in the New World Order. And yet you have Obama in Berlin. He's like, people of Berlin, I stand as a citizen of the globe. In this bright new world, we must tie global citizenship together. It's the one way. It's the only way. Nations that are weak and nations that are strong cannot face such challenges alone. We must cooperate with one another. Leadership in Washington will not remove this burden off of us. For our nation and for all nations. You see? Leadership in Washington will not remove this burden off of us. What burden? Maybe he's talking about globalization. They want a one single leader that will rule everything. Exactly what the Bible said, which will be the Antichrist. And even Paul Henry Spaak, Secretary General of the UN, back in 1957, we do not want another committee. We have too many already. What we want is a man of significant stature who is able to hold the allegiance of all people. That's universal. Who is able to hold the allegiance of all people. To pull us out of this economic morass in which we are sinking, and send us such a man, and be he God or the devil, we will receive him. Wow. And even Obama's like, we got to give them a state, the type of new world order that we all would like to see. Like, it's on and on, ladies and gentlemen. It's not even secret anymore. It's so in the open. Globalization. We all must come together as one. If we want to get along. If we want to survive. They even have I challenge you guys to look it up. It's called the Earth Charter. The Earth Charter. We all need to come together for the cause of humanity. We all need to come together for the cause of the earth. Because if we don't, this earth is going to blow up. The earth is just going to self-destruct itself unless we come together as one. We're going to eliminate war. Because think about it. If we're no longer divided, then we're not fighting, because we're all one. We're all big, one happy family. That's exactly what they're saying. And they're saying this is the cause for the environment. To protect the environment, we all must unite. And who in the world is not in for a good environment? You see? This is what they're doing. This is exactly what they're doing, people. Check it out. The Earth Charter, it's called. They always use fear and manipulation. We stand at a critical moment, blah, 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 blah. We all must come together as one. And even people that are having vision, people that, well, it's demons. Put it that way. It's demons. Because the Bible is clear. Once you're dead, you go to heaven or you go to hell. And once you're dead, you cannot come back. Once you're dead, you either go to heaven or hell. Nothing in between. So these people are saying that the Virgin Mary appeared to them. And guess what Mary is telling them? This is demonic, okay? Mary is telling them that they are Christ. They are God. Accept yourself as a God. You are a God. You don't have to go out there and look for God. Because you know what? You are God. God is not from, they're saying God is within. It's within us all. And she's saying to accept global unity. The only way for this world to survive is if we all unite and come together as one. That's Satan working through these demons. Like these things about UFOs, they're all demons. These people that have encounters with these UFOs, they say the exact same message to them. Why? Think about it. If these are supposedly UFOs that travel light years away, why in the world are they coming this far just to bash the Bible? Just to tell us that we are gods, and to tell us that we need to unite and we need to come together as one? That's what they're saying. That there's coming a Messiah to this earth. That's what these extraterrestrials are telling these people. That there is coming a world Messiah that will bring world peace. Yeah, that's exactly what my Bible tells me. That's going to be the Antichrist. Like, you see it everywhere, people. You see it all over the place. Like Madonna, when she was at one of her concerts, she had that stuff there. It said world peace. And of all the signs and symbols of the Illuminati and all this stuff. And Beyonce doing the signs of the triangle, which is the Illuminati. The New World Order. It's been back on the back of our dollar bill. Like, I never knew this stuff before. Because I always thought that I was talking about our God. Like on the back of the dollar bill where it says, "In God we trust." That's not talking about our God. That's talking about their God, Satan. Because it says New World Order. That's why you see this on the back of the dollar bill. Right up here, you see the all-seeing eye. You see all-seeing eye? Satan has always wanted to take the place of God. Remember it says in the Bible that God's eyes go to and fro on the earth. The eyes of the Lord are in every place. And yet Satan wants to take the place of God. This is exactly what's taking place, people. People really need to realize what is at stake here. The world is in jeopardy. Everything that is taking place. They're going for total control and everything. So what else could I say here? Their goal is to have everybody microchipped. Okay? Microchipped. You heard me correctly. My Bible says everybody's going to have to take a mark. But it's a choice. It's a choice that people will have to make. Because this ties into the one world religion. Okay? Because they're going to have a one world religion with this one world government. Well, everything's going to be one. They're going to have a one world government. Number 2, they're going to have a one world religion. Number 3, they're going to have a one world military power. And number 4, a one world economic system. So, they're going to unify this world economically, and they're going to unite this world religiously as well. Exactly what my Bible told me. Because think about it. In order for the Antichrist to be set up and demand worldwide worship, what do you need? You need a one world religion to be in place in order for that to happen. And that's exactly what's taking place. They call him Petreius. Our world teacher is about to come on the scene. Because they say his star will appear in the sky in the day and in the night. And they're talking about UFOs. That is signaling his coming, which is the Antichrist. The Antichrist will be political. Okay? The Antichrist will be political, and he's going to have a religious leader with him, which will be the false prophet, which will come out of the Vatican. He is the false prophet. Because the Vatican is Mystery Babylon. That's what the Vatican is. You guys can read it, Revelation 17 and 18. If you guys read about the purple linen and all that stuff in there, is describing the Roman Catholic Church. No question about it. It's not talking about America, like so many people try to make it to be America. America's going to be totally destroyed. You know that? During the tribulation period. Think about all these earthquakes going off. When an earthquake goes off, it says in the sixth seal, when the earthquake goes off, a huge earthquake, it says there was a great earthquake. Now, what happens immediately after a great earthquake? Tsunami warning. So there's going to be a great earthquake. So Los Angeles, all those people on the east and west coast, tsunamis are going to come like you cannot imagine. And also says that every island was moved. And every mountain was moved out of its place. So that's going to set off worldwide volcanoes and landslides that lead to tsunamis. So the United States is not Mystery Babylon. Because Mystery Babylon gets destroyed in the middle of the tribulation period before the second coming of Christ. And America has not killed God's prophets and his saints and has done spiritual fornication and so on. It's talking literally about the Vatican. The Vatican has done business with Hitler, with like all the people down through history. All the people down through history, they've done it. Like, it's incredible. Like, where we are right now, people. It's not even funny. Back in 1986, Pope John Paul II, was it Pope John Paul? Yeah. He invited the Wiccans, Buddhists, Hindus, you name it. They were all coming together, talking about world peace. We must all come together and unite the one world religion. And then after he said, we are all the children of God. We all have the Spirit of God within us. Yeah, right. The Bible says there's only one way, and that is through Jesus Christ. And yeah, this guy, Pope John Paul, he allowed the guy to put the Buddha statue on the altar. And my Bible says clearly that God is against idolatry, which is worshiping statues and idols. Anyways, this is where we are. Even the United Nations and the Council of Churches are calling for a one-world religion. Exactly what my Bible prophesied over 2,000 years ago. Everything that the Bible said is taking place. But anyways, before I get into something else, I want to get into this right now. They're going to start off with the biometrics. It's a religious system, okay? It is a religious system, the mark of the beast. You're identifying that you are a worshiper of the beast. Because they're going to be going into military dictatorship as well. Like I said, they're going to be a one-world military power, which will be martial law, the police state, like all the stuff about the biometrics is all police state. That's all that it's about. It's total control over its people, you name it. So that's how they're identifying that you are a worshiper of this beast. Because Satan will not stop until the whole world worships him. What Satan has always wanted from the very beginning of time. He wanted to take the place of God. So now he's come down here. He's going to rule this whole entire world. He's going to set up his kingdom, which is this one world government, and a one world religion, because he wants to take the place of God. I want to be worshipped. I'm going to get the people of the world, God's creation. I will get God's creation to worship me. That's how he's going to try to get back at God. But God's going to save many people during the tribulation period. And many people are going to be killed because they're going to be using the guillotine. Many people are going to be captivated, cutting off their heads. That's what's going to be happening during the tribulation period. But for us that are in Christ, we don't have to worry about this, because the tribulation period is a time of the outpouring of God's wrath, of God's judgment falling on the world. And God's word says clearly that we are not appointed unto wrath. And then Revelation chapter 6 verse 17 says, the great day of his wrath has come. So if we're not appointed unto wrath, we cannot be in the great day of his wrath. Like there's so many other passages that clearly teach. Because Jesus took it all on the cross. God poured his judgment upon Jesus Christ. What's the purpose for the tribulation? The purpose for the tribulation is judgment upon the nation of Israel in a Christ-rejected world. And it's the 70th week of Daniel. 69 weeks have already passed on the Jewish people. There's one more week left for Israel. It's clearly for the Jews. So, I wanted to get into this, is that's what Satan's going to do. God's going to pour his wrath upon this world during this horrendous time of judgment, trying to get the world to come to the end of themselves one last time. Because when Jesus Christ returns at the second coming, he's coming back as judge. He's coming back to set up his 1,000-year reign millennial kingdom. But I want to get into this very quickly. Okay? Biometrics is just a stepping stone towards the mark of the beast. They're sucking everybody into the database. Everybody. Now, isn't it amazing that they're promoting having a microchip in people, that there's nothing wrong with it? I'm not saying it's going to be the microchip. I don't know what it will be. it very well could be the microchip, or it could be electronic tattoo mark, a laser mark, a biometric mark, an RFID mark that can be scanned. It'll be able to track you by satellite, or it could be a microchip, an RFID chip. RFID, radio frequency identification. But yet they're promoting all this in the videos. They have it on Law and Order. This little girl, where she said they put something inside my body, and then the detective went to the house. Well, the other detective was showing the parents were showing the detective the house. The other detective was talking to the little girl. What did they put in you? You said they put something in you. What did they put in you? She's like, I don't want to say anything. They're listening. She's like, no, they can't hear you. And they're like, they put a computer chip in my arm. Like, no, they didn't. They didn't put any computer chip in there. Yes, they did. And after she rolled up her sleeve, she's like, what is that? I told you. They put a computer chip in my arm. So they went to a place that said RFID. This was right on the show, RFID. They said RFID stands for radio frequency identification. And they said this chip can hold this amount of information. Everything about you can be on this chip. They're like, why in the world would somebody put a chip in their kid? It's like, well, obviously to protect them, to save their life. Like, they were going on to make it sound nice. And the guy in the video is like, well, welcome to the New World Order. And then there was another part on the video, where on a different show, on a different CSI or Law and Order, where they found a body, and in this body they found an RFID chip. They're like, why in the world would someone put a Verichip, which is the RFID chip? Why in the world would they put that inside the person? I said, well, the person that did it had to have done it while the person was laying unconscious. So they went to see the guy. Like, why'd you put this chip in your wife? He was his wife, you know? He put the chip in his wife's shoulder. Why in the world did you put a chip in your wife? It's like, she was cheating on me. So still, we're not like animals. I don't give you the right to chip your wife. He's like, yo, buddy, within 15 years from now, everybody's going to have a chip in them. This is the way of the future. Right on the television, guys. It's just incredible. Literally incredible. Even on the cartoons. Even on the cartoons, guys. Futurama. Isn't it funny? Futurama. Just the name of it. The lady's like talking to the guy. Sit down. You gotta do what you gotta do. She's like, hand still while I implant your career chip. Your career chip. Huh. It's all on the shows. It's on Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone when they took him out of his coma that he was in, or whatever, where he was frozen. He's like, I'm itching. He was itching, you know, his hand. He's like, well, did you think we were going to let you go without control? They put a chip in him. Like, it's in all the stuff. It's in all the videos, ladies and gentlemen. Like, it's just incredible. Literally incredible. In the movie Enemy of the State, showing you that you can't run. They can see you through satellites, they can stop your credit cards, they freeze your account, make you a non-person, and so on and so on. Like, they placed all this stuff in his clothes and his shoes, tracking everything. Isn't that funny? They can do that with your stuff. Because when my brother was down here, we went to Walmart. I wanted to know, because I've been hearing about it, about Walmart was the first organization to go into RFID. So my brother asked the lady, she said, yes, we have. So I was curious, you know. So I said, what does the RFID look like? She says, it's an RFID chip. I said, in the clothes. She's like, yeah. Why in the... See, it's crazy, guys. Having RFID in the clothes. So I said to her, when you leave with the clothes, are you still tracking the clothes? She's like, yes. Huh. So they're tracking you with the clothes. Imagine that. I'm not joking around. She actually said that. And she's like, this is the weirdest question that anybody has asked me. And then somebody else that I have a friend that's in the States, she told me that in her church, they're going to start putting RFID bracelets on the children for Sunday school, just in case if they go wandering off, they'll be able to track them immediately. And it's just incredible, ladies and gentlemen, of where we stand today. And even these commercials. The year is 2017. You're rushed to the hospital, blah, blah, blah. And they're trying to say, all to this little microchip. This was science fiction 20 years ago, but today it can be. Okay, this microchip, like what we're saying about this microchip, was science fiction 20 years ago, but now it's become a reality. This was science fiction 20 years ago, but now it has become a biometric reality. Biometric reality, and the guy's like, what's the reason for this? Am I who I say I am? Identification. See? They want to identify us all. It's crazy. And yet they have people in there advertising it as a good thing, because there was a guy there. He's a rock climber, you know, like if you fall unconscious, this will be able to save your life. Because if you have a chip, you don't have to worry about privacy. It's more for your life is more important than your life is more important than privacy. So they scan you, and they know exactly all your information comes up on our medical, your medical information comes up on our computer, and we know exactly what type of medical attention to give you, all because of that chip. And they have another police officer that was promoting it as a good thing as well. You know what? He was diabetic. Okay, he was diabetic. He had a high-speed chasing someone, but his motor was overheated, his engine, so he crashed, and he went into a coma. But all to the microchip, they were able to identify him and to save his life. He says, if it wasn't for that, I'd be in a coma today. Like, they're getting people advertising it like a good thing. Like, even after 9/11, 2002, yeah, the FDA approved a human implant microchip for humans. And in 2004 came the Verichip Corporation. You have Digital Angel, Alien Technology. You have all these organizations for the mark of the beast coming out, and everything is leading in that direction, exactly as the Bible stated. And I never thought that we would actually be seeing these preparations. This is the propaganda that is being thrown upon the people, that it is a good thing to take a chip. Line up and take the chip. It'll give you a peace of mind. Yeah, right. So, that's where we are headed. So, they said the biometrics may be coming in sometime in the summertime of 2014 in America. Because I'm going to try to put the video description below my inbox. May you guys listen to it. It's by Pastor Billy Crone. He said, he shows it on the documents. He shows it. That it got slipped in somehow into the immigration bill. See, we have an immigration crisis. Everything's a crisis now. Obama slid it into the bill. The national ID card has been slipped in for all Americans to have it. Japan's going into it. Japan. It's called ZukiNet. Mexico. Nigeria. Is it Nigeria by 2015? We're going into biometrics. Europe. Germany. All those places are going. It's all universal. It's all going global. They're sucking everybody into their matrix system. So, that's what they said. But anyways, I want to read this stuff to you. Even at the Baja Club, like in Europe and other places, they special VIPs. They go in there, they scan their arm because they got a chip in them, and they get their drinks that way. And the guy that's in there, he's like, you know what? This is the way of the future. This will be a new form of surveillance. It's crazy. But listen to this. This is from Andy something, the guy from 60 Minutes. This was he shortly said this after 9/11. This is what he said. We need some system for primarily identifying safe people. Most of us are never going to blow anything up. And there's got to be something better than one of these photo IDs. I wouldn't mind having something planted primarily in my arm that would identify me. Wow. That would identify me. Okay, there's that. And I got another one here. Yeah, this is what they're saying about it. They said this is what's going to be happening soon. Because some places you have to be chipped. Because the card that they give people to wear, they say it's no longer good. You need to have a chip implanted in you. So this is what they're saying. And we soon see FBI, DHS bulletins distributed to directors, retailers, or doctors and retailers and government bureaucrats about how to identify like suspicious behavior, you know, threatening activities of non-chippers. If you see unchipped, say something. It's your duty. So if you don't see anybody with a micro, if you see no one, if you see someone that has not taken a chip, rat them into the government. Tell the government it's your duty. See that? Totally, it's crazy, man. Even John Walsh is on this. John Walsh is in on this as well. This is what he had to say. This is John Walsh from America's Most Wanted. This is what he said. Okay. John Walsh of America's Most Wanted said about implants. It is a brilliant idea. I wish someone would develop it because, number one, time is crucial when a child is missing, and you could locate them by the chip. And even if you weren't lucky enough to locate them, finding the body is crucial for two things: the ending of the search of the parents and helping with the prosecution of the case. So I hope that somebody develops that in my lifetime. Well, they already have. They already have. The Verichip, Digital Angel, the FDA, all these people. It's called a Class 2 medical device. Something so small can connect you. Like all these promotions, man. It's just right in front of our eyes. It's crazy. Now listen to this. If you're not chipped, you are a terrorist. You are dangerous. You must be brought to justice. You must be hiding something, and you're extremely dangerous. It says it right here. I'm not joking around. Listen to it. Because if you're not chipped, you're probably hiding something and are absolutely dangerous. And listen to this. This is from the former Pope, Pope Benedict XVI. And believe it or not, even the former Pope is saying being tracked with this technology is perfectly fine. He even implants it for his staff at the Vatican. And you know, after he said that, some guy came out saying, oh, you know what? This is very good, especially hearing it coming from the Pope himself. He doesn't believe whatsoever that this has anything to do with the book of Revelation about the mark of the beast. Which the Bible say the whole world's going to be duped by the false prophet and the Antichrist. But people need to know their Bibles. It's clear. They're not going to say this is the mark of the beast. They're going to be promoting it as a good thing. And it's literally freaking me out of how many people are actually saying, yeah, it's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with it. Okay? So, that's what I wanted to read to you. But I want to read one more thing to you. Now, this was all planned out in they've been planning this for years. But the number one thing is, it was all prophesied in the Bible, and that was over 2,000 years ago. Imagine John on the back of an island. How in the world can one man control all buying and selling back then? He couldn't. It was inconceivable. It was unimaginable. They were still fighting with slingshots, bow and arrows, and spears, you name it. Yeah, he says that no one's going to be able to buy or sell. And one individual is going to control all buying and selling. And number one, for that to happen, there has to be a global economy. And ladies and gentlemen, we are already living in a global economy. We just need a world government to support it, and we're not that far from a world government, world currency, all of that stuff. But I wanted to read this to you. This is back in 1969. This is what they had to say, ladies and gentlemen. 1969. These are the planners that have been planning this. They're fulfilling Bible prophecy. But this is what they had to say. Okay. So the next step, look at this. So the next step would be the single card. This national ID card that they're trying to push right now. So the next step would be the single card, and the next step would be to replace the single card with a skin implant. The single card could be lost or stolen. Give rise to problems, could be exchanged with somebody else. And it goes on and on and on and on. So, that's all I wanted to say is with you guys is this. So, this is all I got to say. I have nothing else to say. Anyways, just pray for me because I haven't been doing good. Just pray for me. I just care about people. That I wanted to come out here and just let you guys be aware of this. The biometrics comes sometime in March or April or by June or wherever. Reject it. No matter what. Reject it. Don't line yourself up as their cattle. That's all that they're doing. They're going to make it sound nothing but good. This is a new form to protect you from identity theft and so on and so on and so on. But there's so many Bible prophecies coming to pass right before our very eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, they are getting ready to rebuild the Jewish temple. They're getting ready to rebuild the temple in Jerusalem. There was a guy that I was listening to who said, "Test me. This will be rebuilt. This will happen in our lifetime." Now, does the Bible prophesy about the rebuilding of the temple? You better believe it. It does. Go to Daniel chapter 9, verse 27. Listen to this. Daniel 9, verse 27. "And he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week." Now, the word week there in the Hebrew is Shabuah, which is a period of 7 years. But look what it says. "But in the middle of the week, he shall bring an end to" what? "To sacrifice and offering." An offering. Sacrifice and offering. You sacrifice in the temple, and you do offering in the temple as well. Offering. "And on the wing of abomination shall be one who makes desolate, even until the commission which is determined is poured out on the desolate." And then Daniel chapter 12, verse 11, it talks about it as well. Daniel 12, verse 11. "And from the time that the daily sacrifice," see, the daily sacrifice, which they do their sacrifices daily. The daily sacrifice is taken away, and the abomination of desolation is set up. There shall be 1,290 days. And if you go to Matthew, Jesus said, remember, he's referring back to Daniel. Matthew chapter 24, verse 15. "Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place." So Daniel talked about the temple. Jesus Christ referred to it, referring back to the prophet Daniel, and the Apostle Paul also referred to it as well. If you go to 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4, this is what it says. "Who opposes and exalts himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he sits as God in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God." So, this temple that they're getting ready to rebuild right now, that's the temple that the Antichrist is going to go into and say, "I am God. Worship me." Exactly as the Bible prophesied. And the Apostle John also spoke about it in the book of Revelation chapter 11. This is what he had to say. "Then I was given a reed like a measuring rod, and the angel stood saying, Rise and measure the temple of God, the altar, and those who worship there." The Bible clearly tells us that there's coming a third temple in Jerusalem. That is where he will set up the abomination of desolation, and the scripture is clear to what that abomination is. The false prophet is going to demand everybody to build an image unto this new world leader. And they're going to set that image in the temple, in the holy place. Exactly. The events of the Bible are becoming screening headlines. Prophecy after prophecy is being fulfilled. And it's just literally amazing to see how much prophecy has been fulfilled. From 1948, everything has been moving fast. And Israel became a nation. We are the generation that will be alive to see the coming of the Lord Jesus Christ. Be ready, live ready, stay ready, and look up. Our King is coming. And this is all I got to say, and God bless you all.